So we'll start with you, Pilch. So what I told you guys was best 10 tall forwards in the AFL right now. Obviously, there's, as Pilch would say, that it's dubious what a tall forward is. We were just talking about it before we came on air. So I've kind of left it up to them to really think about how they're going to take it. So, yeah, take it away, Pilch. What's your top 10?
Do you want me to reel off the whole 10 or should me and Rowie rotate?
Nah, go the whole 10 and then we'll get Rowie's 10
10
after.
All right. So starting at 1, I've got Tom Hawkins in first place. I think that speaks for itself. Clearly the best last season, and he played a blinder on the weekend against the Lions. I've got Dixon in second place. Kind of the same. Clearly the second best one last season and off to a good start this season. I think there's a decent drop-off, but I've gone with Franklin at third just because, when he's fit, he's arguably the number one key forward in the game. So I'll put him in there, and hopefully he does get back to full fitness. Fourth, I've got Jack Gunston. As we just said, a lot of these are different sorts of players, but he was in the All-Australian squad last season, kicked a lot of goals, very underrated. Fifth, Jack Darling. I think also underrated. I think he's the best out of the West Coast boys because he does a lot more around the ground. Like Kennedy just takes 4 marks, kicks 4 goals, and that's him done for the day. At 6, Matt Taberner does some good work for Freo, decent player. 7, Oscar Allen, big fan of him. I think he's very underrated as well and will be very good. 8th, Eric Hipwood. 9th, Jeremy Cameron. And 10th, Tom Lynch.
Ooh, interesting. No JJK. Interesting.
No JJK and no Rewalt. I think Lynch, Rewalt and Kennedy are all pretty overrated.
And you could argue Danaher could be stiff to miss out. That's clutching at straws. I don't know. We'll see what Rowie's got. You go through yours, man.
Yeah, definitely not disagreeing with the top 2. Tomahawk and Dixon at 1 and 2 for me. I think Tomahawk's just got slightly more strings to his bow than Dixon, but I tell you what, Dixon just looked like he was just too good for Essendon on the weekend. Just looked like he just absolutely monstered them. So I can't wait to watch him play this year. At 3, so yeah, the rest of my top 10 is going to differ from Pilchers a lot. Bear in mind, I've sort of chucked this in the last minute. I still have JJK in there based on a bit of form in the last year. And so I know he does have those sort of 4 disposal, 4 goal games, but I'm still thinking back to the final last year or a couple of years ago. I can't remember which one it was, but he just took them home at Optus Stadium. It might have been against the Pies last year. But I still think he's just capable of kicking those bags for you. Whereas I think Darling, I don't know. I think we're opposite, Pilch. I don't rate Darling as much. I think he's a bit of a soft tall forward. This could be purely because he lost me in my multi the other week, but I've got him outside of the top 10. 4, I've got Jack Rewalt. I think he contributes to a lot of goals in the Richmond lineup. I think a lot of those players in that team are really selfless. I think he's one of them. At 5, call me Cooper Gretsch. I've got Tim Membry. I think he's got. Look, apart from Tomahawk and Dixon, I think he's got like the best hands of the game. It just sucks he's 188 because the displays aren't as sort of prominent as them. Yes, he doesn't kick like the 7 or 8 goal games, but he can kick a bag of like 4 and sometimes 5. So, and he will rack up those sometimes 20 possessions like we saw the other week against the Giants. He's not going to rise up higher than that list. He probably is too high, but that's a Saints fan talking. Aaron Norton in it next. I think he's going to be really special for the Dogs. He's obviously one of the best contested marks in the game and one of the best haircuts as well. So I've got him in there. I've got Oscar Allen in there next. Agree with you, Pilch. He's going to be awesome. Similar to Norton, I think. Very versatile. I've got Jack Gunston in next. I just think playing for a Hawks outfit is a bit sort of unnoticed at times, but he is a gun, hence the name Gunston. Next, I've got Tom Lynch. Don't like him at all, but he's just a good tall forward. enough said. And I'm not sure. I think that's 10 because I've actually screwed up my list, but I've got Buddy in there at 10, just purely because you haven't seen much of him at all this year and last year. So I've sort of just thrown him in there at 10. I couldn't leave him out. Honourable mentions to Taberner, Darling, McKay, the Kings, who I'm sure will be in there in the years to come.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting list, boys. A lot of unique calls. I like your Darling over JJK call, Pilch. I don't think too many would back you in there, but I like the reasoning as well. Pretty fair effort from West Coast. All three tall forwards getting a mention from you boys. Maybe should suggest that they lift the flag this year, but who knows? I've also asked you, Rowie, to think about the best 3 tall forwards you've ever seen. Pilch, sort of similar to me, has only really started getting into AFL. Well, not getting into it. He's been obsessed with it, but in the last 5 or so years. So I've gone Rowie. Who are the best 3 tall forwards you've ever seen in your lifetime?
Well, I'm going to go off seeing it in person, not just highlights years ago. Some would say I've snubbed him at 10, so I've chucked him in at 1. Obviously, Lance Franklin. No one's going to argue with that. Just absolute freak of nature. Next, I've got Nick Riewoldt. This isn't my Cooper Gretsch talking. This is genuine. Probably one of the best players ever to not win a flag. He was just an absolute machine for the Saints and really carried us through so many years and really should have had a flag to his name in 09 and 10, but unfortunately wasn't to be. One of the best centre-half forwards the game will ever see. And at third, Matthew Pavlich from the Dockers. I know he had a very sort of mixed-up career. He played in a lot of different positions, but given a lot of his career was spent in the forward line, I've definitely got to give him the number 3 place. Extremely versatile player. He averaged something like 17, 18 touches for his career, which is huge for someone that played a large proportion as like a centre-half forward. So that's my top 3.
Yeah, some huge names there.
It's a miracle! Oh, yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.